Okay, so one of the things that I want to start to get into is just on a regular basis getting a chance to teach you guys astrology through my own chart. One of the things that I came down to with having astrology in my practice, because I included astrology in my practice in 2013 for Panacea Cafe and also daily practice as well, daily practice magazine and Amethyst, Amaris art and astrology. And these were different entities that I used in order to express the astrology and to teach about the astrology. But what I was finding was having people keep coming back to me was creating a dependency for them versus my teachings. And I didn't feel right. And many of the companies and the things that I've started, I've never felt completely right charging for things that I feel like should be a baseline of knowledge. When it came down to holistic nutrition, and it came down to being able to do astrology, and it came down to understanding wealth and finances and trust law and intellectual property or anything revolving holistic health or introspective knowledge, I realized these should have been things that are in our schools. This should have been something that's readily available for everybody. And it just didn't sit right with me to put a price tag on it. What sat right with me was to put a price tag on tools and provide educational tools that people can keep for the rest of their lives. Maybe it's because I'm a 90s baby and I remember the times of purchasing a CD, purchasing a movie, and that being able to hold it and go back to it and always having that connection for the rest of my life versus being forced to pay a subscription. Nothing's wrong to pay a subscription. That can be an extra layer that's added, of course, when there's exclusivity that's expected of me, like behind the scenes of my work or behind the scenes of my efforts and my teachings. That would be something that I believe requires a paywall. But I feel like we don't have enough boundaries when it comes down to what should be a paywall and what should not be a paywall. So, in all other things, one of the things that I wanted to start doing is teaching you guys about the astrology and using my chart and the placements that keep popping up that are very, very similar to placements in my chart, or they highlight things in my chart. And then they actually highlight things in my life in a very obvious way because my life has been following along in the astrology very, very long. And I've had Fifth House of Creativity Inc. since 2019. And I've been exercising this astrology since I said 2013. I've been encountering this and putting this work into my life and using astrology as my astrological DNA to show me where the ease is in life and where the work is and the challenges are in life. And I want to take you through this here workshop that I have, presentation that I created in collaboration with Canva AI, not the company. I created this with Canva AI, and we went over my different placements and the type of placements that I have and how it's really highlighted with this Aries stellium right now because I have an Aries sun in the eighth house. And I'm talking not about whole houses, but tropical. We do tropical over here. I don't do whole houses, particularly for my chart. As a person born March 23rd, I'm kind of on the cusp. I've never related to being full Aries and full Pisces. And other parts of my chart, I've never fully related to not being, especially my fifth house, not feeling the Saturn in Aquarius, and then I have my Capricorn for all other parts, like my North Node, my Neptune, and my Uranus. They're all in the fifth house as well, but in Capricorn. So I always had this like little split. And I actually do feel that within my life. And when you see certain patterns in my life, you'll see the split as well. And it doesn't make any sense for me to go to whole houses when I have such a split going on in my chart. And that's just a preference of my own. It's not a right or wrong. This is just a method that I use and I've been using for a couple of years. And I exercise many different types of charts, Draconian, whole houses. I have exercised all of them. But this is the one that has the most resonance for me in my path. So we have this lovely, lovely placement that everybody's experiencing right now with me. We're all experiencing it together. Aries stellium, okay? So the rare seven body Aries stellium, April 2026. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this. Okay, so what is a stellium? So a stellium is when we have three or more planets in, or even celestial bodies. So this could be like an asteroid or other things that aren't just planets. And that's when you have it in a cluster inside a sign or a house. For myself, I have quite a few stelliums in my natal chart. And what we're experiencing right now is a lot of those clusters on entire collective. So everyone is experiencing these clusters at the same time, especially right now. So we have Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Mars, Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron all converging in the ram, the head, okay, Aries. It's all intellectual, but it's also very driven force of intellectual thinking and intellectual persistence and consistency. Okay. It is very, very intense. And it's a once in a lifetime event that we have occurring right now. So these are, like I mentioned, these are the seven celestial bodies. We have the sun, your core identity and leadership. For myself, it's in my eighth house. So look where the sun is sitting in your chart, and we will see how it relates. But look where this transit sun is sitting in your Aries in your chart and see what is highlighting for you as well. So we have the moon, the emotion, the mother, we have Mercury, quick thinking. This is communication. This is how things are processing technology. But Mercury isn't the only one that's technology. Always remember that. We have Mars, the warrior energy. This is the drive. This could be anger. This could be like ambition. This could be passion. Then we have Saturn, so discipline, the father energy. So it's very interesting. The we have the divine feminine with the moon, but we also have the divine masculine, the Saturn, the father figure. And we could have some disillusionment right now, or we could be able to see things quite clearly in a way that we've never been able to see things quite clearly with Neptune, which is the dream side. This is the solvement of boundaries and transcendence. Okay. Then we have Chiron, the wounded healer. And again, this relates to mother wounds as well, but this is about pains that we keep in life and pains that we haven't really reflected on. And it being in Aries, that gives it a whole different strength and again, an illumination. So the timeline that we're looking at, we've already had these times pass. Of course, the April 9th, Mars enters Aries. We felt that energy happening. And today, well, not today, tomorrow, the new moon in Aries for me tomorrow. For you guys, it'll be today if you're watching this on the day that it drops. But new moon in Aries, and then we have a peak window between the 15th and 16th. So this energy of all the planets together converging is going to be really peak time period right now. 15th to 16th. And then the sun exit Aries. The densest phase ends as the sun moves into towards grounding the fire energy. So let's think of the goals, the ambitions, and do a lot of intention setting right now because this is the master manifestation time. This is the real time to be communicating and speaking things out loud and exercising the authority of I am, that is Aries. Now we have these themes that are amplified. It's initiative and new beginnings, like I said. The stellium ignites powerful energy for fresh starts. Okay. So, courage and boldness. This is when we can go confidently, okay, with our decisions. We've had the time to sit down, we had the time to ruminate. We've had all the different phases, all the Neptunian and Plutonian energy that's been happening, the dreamy energy that's been happening. And now we are grounded, especially with Venus in Taurus right now. Venus in Taurus is giving us a little bit more of a grounded blessing right now as we are in these transits. So, leadership and independence. Okay. So, something that's really important is to look at where in your life do you need to lead. There's It's different for everybody. you know, and it doesn't mean to run headfirst into things. No, it means where in your life are you skilled? Are you gifted? And you are the person that can be at the head of the helm with. And you will find comfort and confidence in doing that. So this is like rapid change. I'm ready for the rapid change in my life. And I know you all are ready for the rapid change that's about to happen. And we also have to be very aware. There is impulsivity and urgency right now. You can feel like you need to act. Know that your discernment is strong right now. There are certain things that, of course, could scare you here, deter you here, but as long as you stay eye on the goal, do not shrink your desires. Do not shrink your desires. And you will not have to get your desires in a way that is conflicting to your higher self. You do not have to do something that's conflicting to your higher self. What you'll be able to do is you'll be able to be in full alignment. What comes with ease and what comes in full alignment with who you truly are will be very, very easy. And the urgency and impulsivity that you feel, it won't be out of emergency, it will be out of alignment. So, again, fire energy duality. This is lots of fire energy. It's clearing the way and burning. It's the rebirth energy. Okay. It is the phoenix. It is the rebirth. Now, how it affects you personally. Now, I need you to look, where is Aries in your chart? Okay. Where is Aries in your chart? So I need you to check out how your chart sits and everything like that. Actually, very funny enough, this is my chart that's here. And as you can see, I have a very stacked fifth house. And you can see like a little inkling of my eighth house, where all the transits are near my sun and near my Mercury. And it's a very, very beautiful placement for me. I'm very, very blessed. Very, very blessed. And I've been doing a lot of work to be prepared for this time. So if you have sun, moon, or rising in Aries, you'll be most affected at this time, but everybody on a collective level is affected by this. Now, by the houses, we're going to talk about the activations that are going to be happening. So if it is in your first house, Aries is going to be kind of doing like a whole identity, personal identity, appearance, and that is your rising sign. If it is in your rising, and I know some people have their sun in their first house as well, and if that is the case, then it is a full identity shift. Okay, we have second house of values, so this is money, self-worth, and this is your personal value. Okay, this is what you define as value for yourself, and it doesn't have to be what everyone else defines as value. It's what you find valuable. Third house, communication, learning, siblings, okay? And then we have the fourth house. And so wait, before we leave the third house, I also have to remember to mention it is also writing, okay? And third house is also, we can say, short-term travel, okay? And then we have fourth house. Fourth house is family, home life, and everything like that. And it's more representative of the mother as well. Then we have fifth house, creativity, children, and fun, and also gambling as well. So we got to be kind of careful for the turn up in this way. We got to be very, very careful. If you have Aries in this way, be very, very careful with that. Another thing, so romance as well. And this is kind of like your short-term romance, but also the way that you love, the way that you express it. Then we have sixth house, daily routines, your health, and everything like that. What do you do on a daily basis? What are your routines, right? If you have Aries there and we're having these placements there, it's getting all churned up. Your daily routine, your daily momentum is going to be changing. We have seventh house partners. So this isn't just your romantic partners, and it's not just your marriage, but it's also your dealings, legal, any kind of communication that you have with people, partnerships, business, or anything like that. Okay. It is your codependency or independency. Okay. And then we have eighth house. This is the occult, deep, deep, deep under unconscious, subconscious mind, okay? The unconscious mind, but shared resources as well, and also intimacy. But it's also death, destruction and rebirth as well. Very, very important to remember. And then we have the ninth house, which is long term, long span travel, far away travel. This is school, higher education, learning. This is also like films, I think documentaries fall under this. We have 10th house. 10th house is career, your public facing, how the world sees you, okay? Then we have the 11th house. This is your friends, your community, your people, your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. And then we have the 12th house, the subconscious again. Okay. These 12th house and 8th house are deep soul diving houses. Okay. So we have healing, retreat, but we also have self sabotage. Okay. Now, I don't like to be scary or daunting when I mention anything in astrology because astrology isn't about fates. It's not about, oh, this is going to happen. It's about tools. What are these mechanisms and what do they do and how they may manifest and how they would work if you use them in these ways, if you empower them in these ways. So you take certain sectors or you can take them all at the same time and cohesively make a foundation that feels grounded for you. For myself, I have planets in various parts: the 11th house, the 10th house, the ninth house, the 8th house, the 5th house, the third house, and basically that's it. And then I have asteroids in the other houses, but a lot of empty houses. But what signs rule them in like affect and impact those houses, right? But for me, I know to exercise and to work with those houses and those places. Like I said, my label is literally called the fifth house of creativity Inc. because you saw how stacked my stellium is there. Now, working with the energy, setting bold intentions, inspired action, like I said, aligned, inspired action is calling you right now. It is calling you. Leadership rising in you. Find what you are gifted at. Find where your footing is and dance. We have the sun conjunct Chiron from April 8th to 24th, a powerful window for healing through self expression, wounds, around identity and leadership surface for transformation. Mars sextile Pluto. So from April 9th to 23rd, transformative action and power moves. Channel this energy for deep, lasting change and strategic initiatives. Mercury conjunct Neptune, April 11th to 21st. Intuitive communication and spiritual insights flow freely. So all the downloads are going to be coming, all the downloads, okay? All the downloads. So cautions and shadow work that we have to do, impulsivity risks. So rash decisions, like I said, don't be hasty. I'm an Aries. I know what it's like. Don't be hasty. Take your time. It's like if you're in a grocery store and you go in a line. I noticed people do this in the pandemic. People would be standing in the line and they would have like this impatience when they would be behind people. And I would even feel it myself because I'm a reflector and I just pick up the energy, right? And I would say, wait a second, why are we rushing? Everything in life can wait, right? So my urgency and your urgency is not my emergency. We always have to let people know that. We always have to encounter that. Now, heightened Mars energy can trigger confrontation and ego clashes. And watch for burnout and excessive fire energy and guard against ego inflation. Balance and reflection. Counter intense action with mindful pauses. Practice patience with the process. Journal prompts. Grounding practices. Honor your experiences. Remember, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, a once in a lifetime cosmic opportunity.